Welcome back, explorers. I am David, that's Wesley, and this is the Trailcast. For the last time, probably.
Yep. For the last time, the weekly show that gets so far off track, you'll have to stick around to see just where we end up. Let's not dive into that just yet. Let's stick on to the topic of the video, the Bad Batch. So the Bad Batch has come out with one more episode this past week. Let's talk about that a little bit. What were your thoughts about the episode?
It was better than the past two have been, but I don't know. I feel like the Bad Batch, this is season 3, they've been hyping up some big finale that they're not giving us.
I was watching some breakdown video of it. It wasn't New Rockstars because I was surprised they didn't have a video up. But they've also been dealing with a bunch of other content. I think there's like a Logan trailer, not a Logan trailer, the Deadpool Wolverine trailer that recently came out. So they've been breaking down that. They've been breaking down the new show Fallout. So they've had a lot of things on their hands. So I guess they didn't get around to doing Bad Batch, which is understandable because, like you said, this episode wasn't that. There wasn't that much to it, and we have one more episode left. But I was watching someone. They were talking about it, and they're like, their opinion was that the next episode has to be an hour long to answer all the questions. And it really does. Like, we need an hour
Yeah, that's
long
what I've been saying.
more. Yeah, you've said this multiple times, but it's like, we need at least an hour long episode to conclude everything. We're not getting another season. We don't need another season because the same thing's going to happen. But there's so many questions to be answered. And okay, so they brought this up in season 2, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But Zillow Beast, wasn't that from season 2 that they encountered the one on that ship?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I believe that was season 2. It might have been season 1, but I believe it was season 2.
That was season 2.
And then we encountered it again, probably the same one that the Empire captured. I would assume is the same one. In this episode here. Well, that was something that they brought up in season 2, and it was left it was left open-ended. So, what are they doing with that? Right? I heard someone say that they think that maybe they might end up using that as a way to break out of this prison. You know, maybe the force sensitive children can tap into their abilities, and I mean, Omega has seen Asajj Ventress do the thing with the animals. Maybe she can reach out and use this animal to break out, you know. But that still would not answer the question of like even if we see it again, doesn't mean that it's going to answer the question of what are they doing with it. Because okay, so we know that the armor on the Zillow Beast can repel and block and withstand lightsaber strike. Okay, we've seen that. We know that. Well, obviously, that is not the. They didn't use this in Vader's suit. They didn't use this in the clone's suit. Any trooper suits that we've seen in the Empire, we haven't seen it so far. We haven't seen it on any of the spaceships. So, what are they doing with it? You know, what's the point of them trying to clone the Zillow Beast? We saw that in Clone Wars where they cloned the Zillow Beast or decided to, and whatever, yada yada yada. But what's the point of it? You know, we know that the end game for this facility is to make a clone suitable for Palpatine. But there's still so many steps, so many unanswered questions in this that I really don't even think an hour long episode is really going to do enough for it.
Yeah, I really don't know. And one thing that I'm actually doing right now, because I have not done this, but I'm meaning to. I'm rewatching the trailer for season 3. because I'm not listening to it. I'm just watching it. But
Mhm.
I'm looking for anything we haven't seen yet. Specifically, the Ventress stuff.
I have a
Because
feeling she's
again,
not gonna be in it again. I don't know how she'd fit.
I don't either. I
Also, you
also
gotta look at
don't
the
know how
fact
they're
that,
going to
like,
finish the whole thing with Wolf.
yeah, doesn't make any sense either. Like presumably this, as far as what they've announced, and that means very little. Um, but as far as what they've announced, this is the last bit of the clones that we're getting. For all we know, this is it until we see them in Rebels. So there's still a wide range of stuff happening that goes on. Also, I personally feel like there's a lot of stuff still answered within the clones being, I guess, discharged from the Republic military, the new Empire's military. Like I know they went into that arc in Bad Batch, and I'm assuming that that just means that all the clones uh ended up in this facility here. But why are the clone commandos still being used? Why What was the process of selecting these special forces units like the one clone that we've been following through most of season 3? What is his connection to Crosshair? What is with Crosshair's hand? What experiments did they do on Crosshair that they keep foreshadowing with his hand? There's so many unanswered questions that I just feel like they're not going to end up getting to. What happened to Cody? Like you said, what happened to not Fox? What happened
So,
to Wolf? Just a
Wolf.
lot of clone things that just have not been answered.
See, at this point, like, probably still 50% of the Imperial military are clones. And, obviously, but come the time of of Rebels, which is like, assuming this is 3 years after, is 12 years after this. Clones are pretty much completely phased out of the Imperial military.
Mhm.
So, is that just a natural shift, or is there something drastic that happens?
Well, obviously,
Well,
we've had
and
something
you and like,
drastic happen because we have all these clones in this facility. So, are all these clones the ones that decided it wasn't a good
mhm.
idea that they ended up killing the Jedi, or are these all the clones and they're saying that this is where all the clones, except for the clone commandos, have gone? Except for the ones that have said, "Hey, I'm loyal to the Empire," and now are like specialists. Is this where all the rest of the clones are that have survived? But that's unclear. But that's kind of seems like what they're doing. But I feel like despite the fact that they had that arc, I honestly really liked that arc, and I think it was season 2. It might have been season 1. No, it probably was season 1 because that would have been when all this started forming. But anyways, I really liked that arc because it showed a lot of. I'm weird, I guess, because I kind of like a lot of the politics behind Star Wars. Um, because it shows you a side that is more thought out than just a bunch of action. Like I like action. I love action. It's great. I love action movies. But I also like there to be causes behind it and I like to know the causes. And so that really showed you like a lot more of like the cause and effect of hey, the Empire isn't going to use clones. How do they get from using clones in the Republic to not using clones in the Empire? There has to be a shift somewhere in there, you know. And so it kind of showed us a little bit of that, but I feel like it still left a lot unanswered, which is what we're talking about here. But they dropped it off, and then now we pick up here where you know here are some clones. What's happened in the past 2 years?
And again, too, I feel like we're not gonna get some of these questions answered,
Mm-mm.
which I hate the fact that that's the case, but unless they just do like an hour-long finale, I don't see how they can answer all this stuff.
Or they have to have an hour-long finale, and they have to speed up the pacing because the pacing in these episodes has not been quickest. I will say to not hate on these episodes for the full time that we're talking here. I do like the suspense that they've been having. I do think that there's some good aspects in the fact of like, okay, so the Omega stuff, right? When she's running up the shafts and trying to scout out things, and then she has to get back in time. I feel like they've done that well. This is the element of suspense there. I liked that. Okay. I also liked the element of suspense with them breaking into the facility here on Tantus. Like, you know, what's going to happen next? Well, obviously nothing so far. But they got there. That's a step. Hey, I've been asking for that all season. They finally got there. So I can't say I'm not somewhat happy with it. There's also the element of suspense with like, okay, what's gonna happen with why did his name just blank? But what's the commander's guy that they brought with them? Um,
Oh, Vice Admiral, what's his name?
yeah.
Oh, also, I don't know.
I don't remember what his name is. Um,
In one ear, out the
yeah,
other. I don't know.
in one ear or the other. It doesn't really matter too much. But that guy, like, what's his deal? It's been pointed out. I saw where they're like, and I agree with it. But he seems like he misses the Empire. He seems like he wished he was still part of the Empire. And he has a line with Crosshair, and Crosshair's like, "No, I've changed." And it's like, well, Crosshair might have, but what's this guy's like? What's going to happen to him? Like, is he? He's not going to live happily ever after with the Bad Batch. I don't see that happening. So, and then we also have the thing of what is happily ever after for the Bad Batch. If they are somehow, some way able to make it out of this, what then? Where do they go? They don't have a place to hide. Oh, not
Am I
frozen
back?
anymore. We're
Okay,
back.
I'm back. Okay.
I was say like on my end, I was looking at my connection says it's good, like it's about as good as it can get. So I was like, I don't know what else I can do on my end, but you were frozen. So
Yeah, so it was on my end. It said the connection was good, and then you started cutting in and out. I thought it was you at first, but then suddenly my internet just randomly turned off. So I don't know. I don't know. So
if as long as
I'm hoping all of what you said got caught by Jerry over here, and that
okay, well, hopefully it did. If not, I think I'm back on. Let's see, what was the topic I was talking about? I don't remember what we were talking about. Remember what we were talking
Bad
about?
Batch.
You're useless. Do you think we're
I
going to
try.
see? Yeah, I know you do. Do you think we're going to see Rex?
I hope so.
So we did see Go on the ship trying to pull some information. Presumably, he probably was trying to pull coordinates to Tantus to send uh to Rex. Now, I don't know if maybe they have the technology like we do in the real world, like our iPhones, where you can do here's my location. That'd be kind of cool. You just track down the specific person, but um, I assume he's probably was trying to pull the coordinates so that he can send it to Rex. But what does Rex have? You know, like his unit that he had gathered and gotten together throughout the time of the Bad Batch all but got destroyed in that episode a couple episodes ago with Wolf. You know, so he doesn't have a fighting force. Would it be better to bring in Rex if he doesn't have? I mean, I would love to see him, but then again, like, how will it make sense for him to come back?
But at the same time, they kind of have to answer you know, the whole thing with Wolf because they left that
Or
open, and
more answers that we probably just won't get because, like I said, I don't know how it makes sense. I hope they know how it makes sense. I hope this makes sense. I don't know. I mean, obviously, we've talked about this. It is annoying, and I think the biggest reason why it's so annoying is because there's if there's been so much time and they've answered nothing. I mean, they have one more episode left. They've had 15 total episodes to answer these questions that they've raised in a couple of them, and they just keep raising more questions and without answering anymore. So we're not beating around the bush. We're speaking in
so
circles here, but
okay. I heard someone talk about this. This isn't a new thing. Not new to me. It wasn't new to this part. This well, I've heard it several times. But talking about the third act of Marvel, how like Marvel projects, both the shows and the movies, just hype up this like the third act of the whatever project it is. They hype up the conclusion to the story for
mhm,
just a big fight or sorry, a lousy fight, big fart of a fight, and
like the wordplay.
just a giant space laser with bad CGI, and don't even answer the questions that they were asking.
Hmm.
I don't think it's just the third act of Marvel. I think that's just the third act of Disney movies now,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Disney projects.
I Disney has a formula, and they're going to just keep recreating that formula as long as it produces some money. And it's okay. It's the Hallmark dilemma, right? All Hallmark movies are exactly the same when you break it down to not even the most basic components, just some less detailed components of the movie. Like you just leave out the characters' names and you basically have the same movie. It's starting to be where a lot of these they're using the same formula for same style of movies. Action movies are going to be done the same way. And Star Wars is just same
Hmm.
action movie as as Marvel. Marvel's been successful, so why not do the same thing with Star Wars? Who cares what the rest of it's about? As long as you have that big action piece at the ending, it's great, right?
Giant space laser, tons of CGI. Look,
Mhm.
I swear, if there's a space laser in the last episode of Bad Batch, I'm gonna.
Iron my laser. So, you you brought up a great point earlier, um, and well, I did it myself, watching the Bad Batch season 3 trailer. There's nothing in that trailer that we haven't already seen,
Mm-mm.
and everything that's in that trailer consists of I think the latest episode is the Ventress one that's shown in that. Maybe I think they do show some clips from the one where they have the attack on Pabu, but from the last two
And they show
episodes or
some
three
from the
episodes.
and they show some from breaking out the vice. They do show some from breaking out the vice admiral or whatever.
Okay. So the
From that
last two
episode.
episodes were not in that. The last two episodes have not. Or the last episode and then the next episode that we're going to get, episode 15. 14 and 15 are not in that. Because we've seen everything in
Because
it,
yeah,
and
all the
episode
Ventress
14 is
scenes.
not in it.
Because yes, all the Ventress scenes and the Cad Bane scene from which we're not going to see more of him. But those were both in the trailer, even though they were both barely in it.
Is that the newest, the last trailer? I believe it is.
The one I watched was.
But the first one that came up is what I clicked on, and I don't remember seeing a different one after that one. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do think animated Star Wars is peak Star Wars currently. I'm really looking forward to Tales of the Empire. But Bad Batch has continuously been a letdown. I like the show, but it's when you watch it through, it's not that good. Like when I think back on it, I think of a lot of great episodes because those are the ones that stick out to me and resonate. But when I watch through it, you get all of those episodes that are just bleh, and it has a ton of those.
All the filler, yeah.
I mean, like, okay, Clone Wars. Clone Wars is a great TV show. And we've talked about this a little bit, but it's like you can get away with filler episodes of importance in the Clone Wars because you don't have to have a time frame on it. You know, they're all filler because it's all just showing you what happens during the Clone Wars, which is a span of time that is somewhat undisclosed. Like it's not
All the episodes
completely.
are all the episodes of Clone Wars are self-contained.
Yeah,
For the
more or
most
less.
part. There are some arcs, but for the most part, they're self-contained.
Yeah, and so it's like you're just sitting there for the enjoyment of watching Star Wars. When I'm watching The Bad Batch, I'm watching it to get information. I'm not just watching it for the enjoyment of the show. And so I feel like that takes away some of the enjoyment because I'm sitting there expecting to get something out of it. You know? I'm expecting to get information. And when it's just another episode that doesn't give me anything, then I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I just kind of wasted 30 minutes, 20 minutes of my life. You know? And then I come on here and I waste even more time because, I don't know. Because I'm talking to you, but yeah, no. All right, too many shots. I will take that back.
Okay. I can accept that.
Yeah. Nothing but love here, David. A little bit of hate. A little bit of disdain.
No. I would say enough harping on Disney Star Wars, but no, we're going to triple down on this.
Got it.
We're going to keep beating this dead horse.
It's going to die again. It's the second death.
See, Disney is like the dead horse that got resurrected as a zombie and started an apocalypse, and now we're fighting that. So that's what I mean by beating a dead horse.
So there's multiple dead horses to beat.
Exactly.
And they're zombie horses, so you really got to hit them in the head, and you got to hit them hard. Knock their head off.
Exactly. See, you used to just.
Then again, the head's the problem. The head is the problem, though. So
all goes back to Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar. Hey, we're still alive.
If that becomes a running joke, that's going to confuse people who have not watched that episode.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll
So let's
make it a
make that a
running
running
joke, it'll be
joke.
fine. I'll say we should make it a
Yeah.
running joke. I even got a
Anyway,
couple running jokes on here that no one's gonna get, because a lot of them aren't even from us. So, anyways.
well, I also don't even know if the how much I actually cut out of this because normally we do it like at the beginning, the little bit I cut out before we actually do the intro. But
Mhm.
how we never call the recording thing actually what it's called. We always call it something else.
Yeah. That's just random too. I don't even it just happened. David, we're weird and random people, and I feel like
Mhm.
anyone who does or will ever listen to this is just gonna have to accept that. Um, see how it goes.
Hey, what can we say?
Hopefully, nothing. That probably would be preferred by most people.
True, true.
So, you know.
Anyway, I feel like we beat the dead horse of Bad Batch enough. Um, you sent me something on Instagram earlier.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I did find it on YouTube. I didn't watch it because I already saw it, but it would have been better on a bigger screen.
you could have told me to look it up on YouTube.
I didn't think about it, so I was like, maybe they just put it up here. I assume they probably did, but you could have thought of that.
I was at work, so
So it's better this way.
yeah, fair enough.
It was gonna be on a small screen either way. So
Yeah, we should probably actually mention what we're actually talking about.
essentially what I showed him is there was a clip released from Star Wars, not StarWars.com, but like the official Star Wars page. It was a clip from Tales of the Empire, when Grievous is fighting Morgan Elsbeth on Dathomir. So the little bit of the fight that we got to see in the trailer, it fleshed out a little bit, and it looked pretty cool.
Hmm.
Grievous looked pretty cool.
Hmm. I'm glad we're getting to see a lot of commando droids and stuff too.
Man, I love me some Commando droids. Anytime, in the new Star Wars Battlefront 2, one of the specialty characters you can play as is the Commando droid, and that's usually who I try to play as because I love those things. They're really cool units. They weren't seen a whole lot in the Clone Wars. We did see a decent amount of them, but we didn't see a lot of them. But they're really cool unit. They must have been real expensive to make because they did not use a whole lot of them.
Yeah, I love the sword in the new Battlefront too. What the
Yeah,
commando droid has. Yeah.
I really that's a very useful weapon to have.
Hmm. Yeah.
Speaking of that, so I put up a short this past week. And you might have seen the comments from it, but talking about Iden Versio and how we were like, we need another game with her. One person was like, we have a game. It's Battlefront 2, and I was like, I literally had that image in the short. I'm aware that we have a game with her, but it's not her game. She just has the campaign. There's a
Hmm.
difference. So I don't think people. I watch. I see the comments and I see our retention rate. The comments don't make me believe that the retention rate is real because people say things and they're just so dumb because we address it. I don't know.
Hmm.
I still
And that
agree
that
with what
was
you said.
that was one that I was actually kind of surprised at how many people were calling us idiots. I mean,
Yeah.
it happens a lot, but
Okay, look at the thing is like what you were essentially suggesting was an in-universe canon way because that they always have to do this. They always have to tie things in for us to basically get Star Wars Commandos.
but
Or
imperial version of it,
yeah,
yeah.
an Imperial version of it. But that's essentially all that you were suggesting. because that would be the
Just
format of the game.
and get more Galactic Civil content because
Yeah.
honestly, not much has happened. Like, not there's not much that takes place during that time, and I love
Mhm.
the original trilogy.
Yeah. So, well, maybe it's a good thing that not much has taken place during that time
True,
because
true.
it won't ruin the image of the original trilogy. Um, I think I mentioned this last week, but it's like I watch the original trilogy and I don't like none of the rest of any new Star Wars really. It's all left my mind when I'm watching that because it's just a different time. Everything just seems so much simpler when I'm watching those because it is. But yeah. So I was kind of surprised that so many people were disagreeing with you on that. I think we just that video got put up on the wrong side of YouTube. Um, but
Well, okay, and
happens.
essentially what my main point with bringing that up was because okay, when Battlefront 2 came out, everyone got really excited because we were getting a campaign where you were going to get to play as Imperial Special Forces.
Mhm. And we got to play it for like 2 seconds.
You got to be Imperial Special Forces for like 5 missions, and
Mhm.
that was it. And then the rest of it was New Republic stuff. Like people wanted the actual like
You
Empire
know,
side of it.
part of the game that stands out to me so significantly is after and I don't remember all the ins and outs of the game, but she's in the prison cell and
Mhm.
she's escaping. That could have been part of. I mean, you could be infiltrating places and having to sneak around and like take out guards. Like, okay, I've never been good at the game. But one of the games I like to play is Hitman, and that's a game you have to sneak around and take out certain people, and then you have to get to your target or whatever, minimalizing the amount of people that you have to get to. This would just
Basically,
be
oh my gosh, you just gave me a great idea for a Star Wars game.
okay.
Basically, all it would be is basically just Arkham Asylum, but in the Star Wars universe.
Who's your character? Talking about for
Doesn't
this?
matter. I
Okay,
mean,
it's like
you could do it for that. You could do it for that, but have a basically like Arkham Asylum, but in the Star Wars universe. So have all the stealth, all the gadget, all the upgradable gadgets, all the
do it as a bounty hunter game. I mean, I know we're getting a bounty hunter game,
There
but
you go. There you go.
um, like the one problem that I have in Hitman is that your health is so low. Like you can die so easily if you get found or attacked or something like that. You're basically dead. I've gotten many a firefight in that game. I know you're not supposed to. It doesn't mean that I haven't. And I always lose because I don't have the health. So you could
Well,
essentially
because
do that in this.
I think the premise of Hitman is basically
You're
like
not supposed to
to
this
be
game.
well, also that, but you're to be a little bit more realistic. If you get shot, you just got shot. Like
Yes,
you're
yes, I
not getting
get
up and
that.
walking around from that.
But when I'm playing a video game and I have an AR in my hand or some high caliber gun, I want to just shoot people. I don't this is sounding bad. I in a game, I just want to use it to shoot people. I don't want to get killed. I'm reasonable in wanting that out of a video game. My health should be through the roof. A bullet shouldn't hurt me.
So
I feel the same way.
you just basically
I
want
feel
to hack and slash.
exactly. What not all the time. Sometimes I do like the stealth. But sometimes when I just can't get to the target, I'm just like, all right, let me just mow down all his bodyguards in this room.
Well,
Never works.
you should play Shadow of Mordor then, because it does have all the
I am.
stealth, but once you get later on, you can basically just take on armies of orcs by yourself.
I've done that multiple times. I've not gotten through the whole entire game, but I've played about maybe a quarter of it, half of it.
Yeah.
So
Have you gotten to the second map yet?
yeah, not that I know of.
So
I don't know.
you would know. So yeah,
Okay.
you probably aren't even halfway through it.
I'm the problem is that I've gotten to a point where getting off topic. I've gotten to a point in the game where I finally figured out what the point of the game was and how to go about completing it. Um, but I probably need to restart it because of the decisions and choices that I've made. Like, I don't know if we talked about on here, but like, when you kill an orc captain or someone in command, uh, that's good and that helps your progress. But if you lose to one, then there's a bunch of promotions. And even though you died, it's not like you just respawn and restart. There's actual consequences. So currently, I have like all of the big chiefs or whatever, um, all in one spot. All the ones that I'm supposed to be targeting, and so it's really hard to attack them.
Well, that makes it fun. Just take them all on all at once.
Yeah, but then I die, and then they all get promoted, and then they're even stronger, and then it just becomes more of a problem.
Eh, maybe.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I need to get back into it. I also need to finish a bunch of other games, and I currently don't have an Xbox that works. So there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
A lot to it.
Weren't we talking about Star Wars?
Somewhere down the line.
Yeah. Well, we should probably actually go ahead because that's about all we actually had planned for today. Because we're
Mhm.
going to make it short because there's something else we need to talk about.
Okay. What's that?
Oh, I thought you were. I thought you knew.
Oh, was I supposed to know?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was
Usually you
it
discuss
was
these
on the
things with me
agenda.
beforehand. Oh, it was on the. I
It-
didn't read the agenda. I don't read it, David.
well, probably because I didn't write one. So
Oh, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay, well, what's on the unwritten agenda?
I thought you made the plan.
Just because I didn't
Okay,
make the
but no.
plan doesn't mean I don't know. Doesn't mean I know what's on the agenda. David, just spill the beans.
Okay, but a few weeks
If you
ago we
have
did mention.
beans,
A few
don't
weeks ago we did
spill them,
mention
David.
this.
Don't lose the recording.
Oops.
Okay. Well, go ahead. We'll clean up the beans later.
Okay. So a few weeks ago we did mention this, but we're taking a break
Y'all have
between this.
gotten to be too much. We just can't handle and deal with y'all. It's just
It's
too much
just too
stress.
much of a headache. Too much of a headache. And so this is the last episode of the Trailcast
You made that sound so sad.
because Trailcast is over and we're rebranding. So we're gonna come back in June with a brand new show, and you are going to get to decide the name.
More or less.
Not you, Wesley, but you listening to this. All two of you.
More or less. If we don't like the name, we're not going to pick it.
Yeah, we're gonna rig it, but still.
Yeah. It's okay. One day the story will come out. It'll be fun. Now, that being said, David, I just, for those listening, the quality's probably going to stay the same, so don't get your hopes up.
I do have an idea about that, but I will talk to you later about that.
Oh,
So get
you're not going to talk to me about it? You're going to talk to them about it? I thought
no
I should
you.
know.
No, I'm talking to you about that.
Who's you? You keep pointing, but you're not
No,
specifying.
you right there.
Your
Or
finger's
you.
going off
No, no.
screen. Oh, there you go. You. There you go.
Yeah, I forgot the web. I forgot you're right there, but the webcam's there.
Okay. So you pointing to me or me? Or me or you? You and
Well,
them.
actually, you're on my screen twice, and the webcam's right there.
That's nice.
But I'm talking to Wesley.
Okay. See, now I'm not confused
Purple
anymore.
shirt,
Okay.
ball cap, headphones. Wesley.
Mhm. Okay. We're on the same page now.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about that later.
Talk about what?
Well, whatever you said. I lost track. So
This
yeah.
has been a train wreck of an episode, but that's
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it will be a little different. It will be a little different too because I will be coming back as a father, so I'll be much more mature
Mhm.
and distinguished.
I don't know
Hopefully,
about that, but
I'll come back with some dad jokes.
oh no.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah, that's actually the reason we're taking a break now because Wes and Sarah are having a baby soon,
hmm
so
So
taking a break now so they can get that settled. Because as you could probably imagine, it's not they're gonna be busy.
a little bit busy. I mean, we're gonna be busy in June too, but hopefully we'll be settled in. So
More in a routine, yeah, yeah.
more
So
more on a routine by then.
we're letting them take the month of May off so they can get all settled.
David's such a gracious host.
I'm just taking it off so I don't have to do anything.
Yep, I figured that. Alrighty. That's about it for this. For those of you who sticked around or the ones who cared. So, you know, for those of you who are, I know, like my sisters, they get behind on the episodes. This is their time to catch up. They have about a month to catch up. So, um, and yeah. So those of you who are still listening, we'll be back the 1st of June. That's all we gotta say. That means that we will not be talking about Tales of the Empire, at least until we come back.
We will. Our first episode back will most likely cover Bad Batch finale, Tales of the Empire, and I don't think Wesley and I are going to cover Acolyte week by week. We might cover it once it's all out, but we'll get that when it comes.
Kind of depends on how much is trending. We'll
And
figure that out.
how Disney it is.
Yeah, well, that will depend on how much is trending. But
Well, it might be trending because it's very Disney.
That's true. That's true. Well, it might be worth talking about. We'll figure it out. We will have everything ready to go come June, and we will hit the ground running with a new brand, new everything, except for hosts. It'll still be us. I'm sorry. Sorry to let you down again, but
Yeah.
we're gonna be back.
Well,
it's gonna be us still.
I think if we go ahead and cut it off here, we have set a record for the shortest episode of the Trailcast.
Let's set a record with the last one.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, within our first month back, I think so. Like I said, I think our first week is probably gonna be that, and then I would assume we're probably also gonna do some more Star Wars trivia, and we are definitely going to rank all the Star Wars movies in that first month because we had that
Yes.
planned for sometime around now, but plans got changed because of some other stuff going on. But that's coming up in the June, and also Wesley. I have not actually told you about this, but we definitely need to talk about them because the Ewok movies are on Disney Plus.
Uh-huh. Yep. We have talked about that. We just didn't talk about doing it.
Yeah,
We're actually doing it. There's a lot in store. There's a lot of Star Wars content. There's a lot in store moving forward. If you like us, support us, or like Star Wars, and we have a lot of stuff that we're going to go over, a lot of content that we're not going anywhere. We're just rebranding. Maybe we are going somewhere for a month, but yeah.
I'm also going to be working on some other projects. Don't know if I'll get them to the point where I can actually announce them come June, but I do have some other projects in the works. Hopefully I might be able to make something of those, or we might be able to make something of those come fall, but we'll see.
Yep. So, David, with that, do you want to go ahead and sign us off for the last time?
For the last time. Well, explorers, that's about all the time we have for today.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode.
Let us know what you thought in the comments down below. Or you can DM us on Instagram at Down There Rabbit Trail YT.
And as for that, that is it for the Trailcast.